Hi, I'm Teddy Burris, and one of the projects I'm working on is finding digital devices that seniors and their caregivers can use to help manage and monitor what's going on in whether it's their home, their independent living space, or even their assisted living space. A lot of the information today that my wife manages for her mother is done by basically nothing more than a log sheet and a clipboard. And they keep track of all the things that are important about caring for her mother by writing it down in this book. And that's great, but what I'm looking for is there another and hopefully a better way of doing that? So I went on this journey to find these digital calendars or digital frames that have the ability to track lots of different information. Now, beyond just the calendar, the schedules for the caregivers, the doctor's appointments, the eye doctor appointment, maybe the cardiologist appointments, et cetera, where we can keep track of that in the frame. And so that all of us who are involved in caring for the loved one that we're caring for can see that information, but also want to keep track of things such as water intake, showers, when's the next shower due, or when was the shower done, maybe a sleep activity, a medicine intake, when was medicine scheduled in the morning and in the evening, and is there a way to check off through a list or a routine that was done, and as well as, because it's a digital device, maybe having the ability to display what I refer to as live at the moment imagery and photos that come from loved ones who may not be with them, but maybe can send that imagery to them through the digital device. And so today I'm looking at a device called a family calendar. It's by a company called FlyEvFish, and I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to show you what it's all about. And then I'm going to set it up, show you how to get it set up, how to get the app on your phone so that you can manage it from your phone. And then I'm going to explore different ways of using this device to serve and care for senior citizens. So, all that being said, step one, let's do the unboxing. So I do like the fact that because this is a little bit of a big box, there's a handle on it. This is nice for, again, if it's a heavier device. Some of the devices I looked at were very small and they were one hand under your arm. But this one has a handle because it is a little bit bigger. So let's take and undo the tabs. Let's bring this up. So it's decently packed. Inside of this box is let's see, on the top is, let's see what's in here. Open that up. There's the power cord and anchors and screws. So to put it on the wall, power cord it's a custom, or it's not a USB-C, so it comes with its own power adapter. And there's something else in here. Let's see, what else do we have? So more screws and anchors. That's interesting. And a quick guide to horizontal wall hanging. Oh, that's cool. I love it when they give you a template that shows the two holes and the distance you need to put those two holes in order to hang it. And I think, I love it. They give us a nice little screwdriver. And this is, I guess, a screw that I'm going to need to do something. We'll figure that out in a minute. And this is the bracket. Oh, that's what that screw is for. This is the bracket. Oh, that's pretty firm. That's good. So that we can stand it up on a tabletop. So we'll set all this off to the side. Keep all the debris together, Teddy. Makes it easier to dispose of or store it. I'm going to lay that down over here. And then the frame is inside. Let's see if I can get this out easily. Slide it right straight up. And one more thing here, I can get rid of this box. Here is another quick start guide. And put that over here. And the eCalendar user manual. So Put that over here. I can move this empty box over here. Save everything in case I need to do something with it. Here's the sleeve. Let's get rid of that one. And let's get rid of this one. And then we have the calendar, the eCalendar in the plastic bag. Boy, that is a nice heavy duty frame. Move that over here. And let's remove this. And then there's a little tape. You can see the screen has little tape on it with the cover. Remove that. Remove this. Let's do the same thing. It came off the bottom already. We'll move that out of the way. So there's our digital frame as if it was hanging on the wall. Let's show you the back. This is pretty interesting. Couple things. First of all, I was pretty impressed that they give us this. This aligns with these notches here. So if you're going to hang this here, you use this bracket, this guide or template to figure out the whole spacing on the wall. If you're going to hang it on like this, there's only one hook, so you don't need to have the guide. I will offer that if you are going to hang it on a drywall, I would absolutely use the large anchors and the large screws. You do not want to just stick a screw in drywall. Over time, that may fail you. Also, I talked about the bracket here. This hole right here and this hole right here is for the bracket. So if I want to stand it up on a table, then I would use this bracket and this little screw. And I can do it here, and I can stand it up this way, or I can put it here and stand it up this way on the table. Again, with this bracket. The power cord plugs in right down here, and there's actually a little slot. I don't know if you can see it right here, a little slot for the cord to go through, so the cord doesn't hold the frame away from the wall. Pretty smart little way of doing things. The power can also go over here. Yes, I have DC in at the bottom. So if I'm going to hang it this way, then the DC in is on the bottom. But you can also see I have DC in here in the event I'm going to hang it this way. So again, the power cord follows the direction of how you're hanging it. And the last thing that I think is worth noting is this is pretty smart manufacturing. These 4 holes right here are designed to go on the standard, I can't remember the naming structure, is it? The standard television mounting bracket that hangs on the wall. So you could actually put that on one of those mounting brackets so that you can hang it from the wall with that bracket. And then if it's on that bracket and it's on the wall, if you have one of the multi-point brackets, you can move it this way, and this way, and pull it out. So I'm impressed to see that they put that bracket mounting. Okay, so I decided to just sit this on my desk using the little leg on the back, and figured it'd be an easier way for me to get started to showing you how to set up your eCalendar from FlyEvFish. All right, so here's the power cord. I've already got the power cord plugged into the wall, so I'm just going to plug this into the back of the device. Give me a moment. I can plug it in on the bottom or the side. I'm plugging it in on the side for right now. All right, I think it's plugged in. FlyEvFish. And I'm going to start with just using the quick start guide and follow the directions there. Actually, I've already done most of it. So the first page is all about deciding your orientation. Second page is all about putting the anchors in the wall to be able to hang it, whether you hang it horizontally or vertically. And then the back page is basically just saying, plug this thing in and do the initial setup. So it lets me choose my language, and I'm going to use English, and I'm going to hit next step. And then I want to choose my Wi-Fi. I'm going to use Cafe Patio, and I'm going to type in my password, and then I'm going to hit check. And then I'm going to hit connect. Let me check the password real quick. All right, the password's correct. I hit connect. And it's connected. Look, I can turn Wi-Fi off up here if I want to. Don't know why I would do that. Now let's hit next step. Wants to know where I am. Let's see if I can scroll down Pretty sure I'm -5. Oh, I'm -4 Eastern time. Select that. Hit next step. It wants to know what city I'm in. Why would that be relevant? Not sure. But let's just go ahead and do it. All right, that's a city close to me. Let's use that and confirm. Again, I'm not sure why they want to know city. Okay, the next step is to download the eCalendar app through the QR codes that's on the screen here, either iOS or Android. And let me get that first. I'm recording this on my cell phone so I can show you that setup. So I'm going to turn my camera on. I'm going to get a picture of the iOS. I'm going to click App Store. So I'll go to ePlanner. I want to encourage you, anytime you download a new app through the Apple Play Store or Android Store, I recommend you read through it. This is pretty interesting. 9.6, 9,600 ratings, average 4.6. That's decent. I can rate it now if I want to. Here's the app privacy statement. I really recommend you go to the developer's privacy policy. I'll put that there. I'll come back to that later. I don't need to translate because it's already in the right language. Let's go back to here. And that's the privacy policy. There's accessibility. Privacy policy, report a problem. So what I don't have is the terms of use here, which I want to read that as well. I don't see that here. So this is why you read this information. What I did not realize is that there is the potential for an eCalendar membership, and it is $2.99 a month or $30 a year. Now, there may be value in doing that, and there also may be that you can use this digital calendar without that. But I'm going to go through the process and see where we end up. So I'm going to download this. And I'm going to open it. There's the user agreement and privacy policy. I'm going to save that to read it later. But based on what I've read so far, I'm going to agree. Wants my email address. Wants a password. Let me create a magical password. Don't look. And I have to agree to the terms of use and privacy policy again. Again, from what I've read so far, I'm okay with. I will read it in detail later. I'm going to log in. I've got to register instead of logging in. Let's go to register. Wants a username. Fortunately, it kept that other data. And create account. Wants to send notifications. Typically, I say no, but I'm going to allow for the sake of this evaluation. Let's see, add device. So I can do a digital alarm clock or eCalendar calendar. So I'm going to do eCalendar calendar. I'm going to hit confirm. Are you activating a new eCalendar? The word is yes. Create your eCalendar's unique email address, device name. Let's give it the name of the lady we're caring for. All right, how did you get your calendar? I got it directly from a gift. Where did you first hear about it? Search on Google. Hit finish. After turning your calendar on and connecting to Wi-Fi, enter this code. Okay, so I have my code. I can come over here and I can type in the code. And hit set up sync. Now it wants to sync to a calendar. So I'm going to sync it to one of my calendars for the sake of this exploration. I'm going to do Google. I could do one way or two way. Two way would be very good. That way the caregivers can add entries to the calendar. So I'm going to sync a new calendar. I'm going to hit continue to let it connect to my accounts.google. I'm going to choose a calendar. Oops, I need to use another calendar. Let me go do that because I have LastPass. Give me a moment while I enter in the password manually. Oh wait, this should work. Two-step verification. All right, there's my code. And now I've connected the eCalendar to teddyburris at Gmail. Allow eCalendar to access my name and my email address. Profile picture, continue. eCalendar wants access to your Google account. Select what eCalendar can access. I'll select all. So I can access and view and edit on my calendar. It can see, edit, share, and permanently delete on the calendar. I'm giving it access to that. So I'm going to hit continue. And I'm going to hit got it over here. Which calendars do you want to sync? I'm going to sync TLB Personal. Hit sync calendar. We've started the syncing process. So far, we've synced 66 events. Oh, look at this. It brings up birthdays. That's pretty cool. So I'm showing the birthdays. That would be really good for my seniors that I'm trying to give them information so they know whose birthdays are coming up. See events. So I think I have set up this calendar. The next step will be to set up tasks, rewards, list, meals, photos, etc., etc. Also want to go look at, let's go look at my email for this account. So I got 2 emails regarding this. Number 1 is the top Google security alerts. I'm allowing eCalendar to access my data. I'm good with that. And the other one is your eCalendar activation code. So there's my activation code. And so far, there's nothing in here about having to pay for anything. Let's go back to eCalendar. So here's the app. This is pretty interesting. There's, any upcoming events for the day, calendar task, rewards, list, meals, photos, sync, profiles. There's only one profile, equipment management, user management, notifications, and greeting cards. So I can actually send a greeting card. So we will experiment with all this. The only other thing that I see is, remember there was a possible pay. Members enjoy more benefits. If I pay for the eCalendar Plus, I can convert text documents and images in email attachments into events. Maybe. And maybe more useful, I can allow more friends to share your device. So maybe that is where I could allow other users to manage the device and share photos. For right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back later and I'm going to explore each piece of the app and how it shows up on the screen. But for right now, I've accomplished the goal. I have it set up.